All right. Well, California Baptist, which I've been told to call them, Cal Baptist, the Lancers are a heck of a team. And there's a reason, that they were 26-1 or whatever it was last year. They're veteran. They've got their entire team back. They came in with, this is probably the last game on their schedule that they are not going to be favored to win going into it, is what I would assume. I don't know 100%, but I'm assuming that. They played like it. They had nothing to lose, and they came out and gave us all kinds of trouble. We learned lessons in that first half. Felt like we were a step slow defensively, but you got to give them credit for playing so quickly. Their point guard, I just drew a parallel to Kiana Williams for Stanford last year. She was so fast and was the motor of that offense that, your head was spinning at times. They executed so quickly, and that's what their point guard was like tonight. She's a heck of a player, led the nation in assists last year. And they're a non-traditional team, and they shot the three like crazy. I don't know how many they make total. 13, because they had 9 at halftime, I believe. And then we obviously had a great third quarter, and that was the difference in the game. That was really fun. And so through the stretches of this game that they made not fun for us, the third quarter was fun. We were in control of that quarter. We had great defensive focus and intensity, and it was just fun to be a part of. That was, flashes of, who we are. And I'm proud of the way that we closed this thing out. And it was no surprise that they made a run at us in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's who they are. They're a very good team that's used to winning, and teams that are used to winning and are so well coached find ways to stay in games, and they did that. So give them a ton of credit. They made us a much better team, for this game tonight.
Coach, you adjusted your starting group to start that third quarter with Kennedy and Greta. I'm assuming that was defensively focused, and it clearly worked. What did that group do that was different than what wasn't working defensively in the first half?
Yeah, we just held them to 6 points that quarter. I thought we were just so much more accurate. We've talked about Kennedy's defense a lot. She's as good a defensive post player as you're going to find. Her position is excellent. Her instincts. It's just how she's wired. It's just who she is. And and that was the plan. That's our best defensive center, and let's go with that. That's what the game demanded at the time, and so we made that adjustment. Greta, I thought, had a really good first half. I like her defensive accuracy and intensity as well, and so that was just a move we felt necessary to do what we needed to do, which was shut them down. I mean, we could not continue to trade baskets, even obviously at that point, down 6. I felt fortunate to be down 6, to be honest, at halftime. It turned out to be a good move. But then when we adjusted and when Taylor came back in and Emily came back, or Ellie came back in, Emily, whoever it was, we continued it. It was a great defensive quarter no matter who was on the floor, and I think we used probably all 10 or 9 anyway. We played 9 that quarter.
And staying on Greta, her athleticism and kind of all-around game just really showed up in that third quarter, hitting the offensive glass, making some buckets, and really competing on the defensive end.
Yeah, I mean, that, we talked after the game on the radio, just mentioned how, Greta, you don't luck into McDonald's All-American. That doesn't happen just by chance. She's a heck of a player, and finding her way at this level now, she brings strength to the court every day. We've drawn comparisons. I've said she's a combo of Mick and Kat. And around these parts, those are big names and big words to be using and throwing around. And I've always said, well, that's not to put pressure on her. That just describes her. She is an all-around player like Mick. She is a catch-and-shoot player like Kat. And so that combination is formidable. And tonight, it was neat to see that competitive juice and that confidence that she has in herself come out when we needed it most. And she hit some big shots. We talked about, the Emily Cotting offensive rebound, falling down, kick out to Greta at the top was the play of the game, I thought. I don't know what it increased our lead to, but it felt like almost a dagger at that time. And it was, just a special play for this time of the season, and so Greta's a heck of a player. We see it every day.
Talia, what did you learn about the first half playing a pretty good team this early in the season?
Yeah, I think defensively, we just kind of came out slow and we didn't respect them as much as we should have, and we just weren't accurate. I think when this team is accurate on defense, we are a good defensive team. But there was just a lot of miscommunication and we were just slow, but we responded really well in the third quarter. I thought it was he challenged us at halftime, and those are the moments where you kind of learn who you are as a team. And obviously we came out and had a great third quarter defensively. So yeah, I was really proud of our effort in that second half.
Scott, two stats that really seem to stand out in the second half. You out-rebounded them 31-8 and had 16-0 on second chance points. Against a good team, doesn't happen very often, does it?
No, and that's what we needed to do, and so this is a group of great competitors that I get to coach, and we are forming as a group. I mean, we've got some youth out there that's finding their way, and we know that. Even veterans like Emily Cotting, she's new to us, and so she's figuring out who she is here at Oregon State. And of course, that's going to take a little while to sort through. And fortunately, we have a normal preseason this year where we're going to have time to grow together and be ready for January when it comes. But those numbers, we talked about. I mean, if we're going to miss, we need to go get the ball. And so we need to dominate the offensive rebounds. It was on our board before the game, and we had 3 on 20 misses at halftime, and we ended with 16 on however misses. So 13 offensive rebounds in the second half. I thought that was the difference in the game. The third quarter defense, but fourth quarter to seal this game came down to offensive boards. I mean, that was what was the most obvious to me. We weren't real clean in the fourth quarter offensively, and that saved us. Great effort there.
Taylor, offensively, it looked like there were some stretches in the game where you were really like the primary option. They were really looking for you. You have that size advantage, and you're facing your opponent up and being really aggressive offensively. How do you feel about your offensive game tonight?
I think that there were some shots that I took that were a little too difficult. I could have gotten to easier shots.
Okay.
And I mean, I think that our guards did a really good job at swinging the ball and getting me the ball. Being able to create open shots for me and being able to help me to get as deep as I can, and that comes from the guards being able to shoot. I mean, they sagged in, and then once we started shooting, they had to go out on the shooters. So, I mean, it's thanks to them that I was getting those open shots. And the very good screens. We had a lot of plays where there was back screens or side screens that they set, and good passing on that too.
Yeah.
She only missed 3 shots, so most of her shots were really good.
Yeah, there's a few.
in that fourth quarter, you and Kennedy just really hit the glass. There were times where it was volleyball out there over the top of them, and just keeping possessions alive, over and over, second shots, third shots, just really grinding on that offensive glass.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I mean, that's something that we knew coming into this game was that we had height advantage, and we knew that offensive rebounding would be a key, and we just had to get it done when you have to win. And so it came down to that, and I mean, we just grinded and worked hard to get those rebounds, all of us. I mean, we had 16 offensive rebounds, out-rebounded them by 24. Our goal before the game was 15, and so we're happy with that.
Coach, I know you're just moments off the floor off of this game. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to talk to you again before Cal State Bakersfield, so we kind of just have to ask, what do you see on Saturday's game that you guys need to take care of there?
You can call me anytime, first off, and so we can talk anytime. So, I haven't even got into it yet. To be honest, I haven't had a chance. I know that Greg McCall's a great coach. He's been there a long time. They've got a great culture, and so we've faced them several times over the years, and it's always a great battle. So we're going to have to continue to improve. So most importantly, I just look at us. Like tonight, we didn't have Taya Adams tonight. And so that skewed our rotation a little bit. We changed a couple of things up. It was a little bit clunky at times because of that. And we can only get better with this game experience now in that regard. I think we learned some, some good lessons for us to learn tonight. Talia alluded to, probably not playing with the intensity that we needed to, clearly, in the first half defensively. And so we've got to get better in those areas. And so what more can you ask for than another game in a couple days? A practice to work on us, a practice to work on the scout, and then game on Saturday, which is kind of like the perfect day, a basketball game in the afternoon at noon, and then, a football game at night. That's kind of like the dream scenario, isn't it?
And Coach, are you at liberty to say why you had, the 2 players not suited up tonight?
Yeah, they're just out with illness.
Out with illness?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll be back.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Go Beavs.
Go Beavs.
Thank you.